You lived the first years of your life. You were there. You heard voices. You felt hunger. You reached for warmth. You learned faces before you knew what a face was. And yet, when you look back, almost all of it is gone. Not blurry, not distant, gone. For most people, the first clear memories begin somewhere around age 3 or 4. Before that, there is a wall, a missing first chapter, which is strange because those were not empty years. So why is there almost no you inside them? The easy answer is that babies do not remember, but that answer is wrong. Babies learn constantly. They learn voices, faces, warmth, hunger, safety, threat. A baby is not a blank screen. A baby is a learning machine. The problem is not that nothing gets in. The problem is that most of it does not come back later as a story. There are memories you can tell, and there are memories your body simply uses. Here is the ancient human signal version of the mystery. Your baby brain was not making a diary. It was building a survival map. A diary says, this happened to me on this day, in this place. A survival map says, this voice is safe. This smell means food. This face means protection. This sound means danger. Long before you had a clear sense of I, your nervous system was already sorting the world into signals. Safe, unsafe, close, far, warm, threat. That is older than language, older than memory as a story, older than the adult self who now wonders where the memories went. Before your brain could write the story of you, it was learning how to survive being you. Part of the answer sits inside a structure called the hippocampus. The hippocampus helps turn experience into long-term episodic memory, the kind where you can later say, I was there, this happened, this was me, but in early life, that system is still developing. This does not mean a baby cannot learn. Even very young infants can notice patterns, but pattern learning is not the same as a stable life episode. Think of it like trying to store photographs inside a house that is still being built. The rooms are changing. The walls are moving. The wiring is still being installed. Something can happen there, but it may not survive as a photograph you can later pull from a box. There is another possibility scientists study. In early life, the brain is changing at extraordinary speed. New neurons and new connections are being added as the system matures. Some animal research suggests that when new growth is very high, older memory traces may become harder to keep. Not because the early world did not matter, but because the brain is remodeling itself too fast. The machine is learning by rebuilding. But brain structure is not the whole story. There is another missing ingredient: language. Adult memory is not just pictures, it is narration, sequence, a self moving through time. This was before lunch. That was my grandmother. I was scared. I wanted to go home. A baby can feel fear without being able to say, I was afraid. A baby can feel comfort without being able to say, that person protected me. It happened. It shaped the system. But it did not become a story. And for most of human history, that made sense. An ancient baby did not need to remember one exact afternoon beside a fire. It needed to learn that fire was warm. It did not need to remember the first day it heard its mother's voice. It needed that voice to become safety. It did not need a perfect archive of every face in the group. It needed to know which faces meant protection, which bodies meant food, which sounds meant danger, which silence meant something had changed. The infant brain was not built first to make a personal archive. It was built first to tune a living body to a dangerous world. This is where the idea becomes personal. The first years of life do not determine everything about you. You are not trapped by what you cannot remember. But early experience can tune the starting settings: how quickly you expect comfort, how your body reacts to a raised voice, how safe closeness feels, how alert you become when attention disappears. These are not always conscious memories. They are predictions. They are patterns. They are the nervous system saying, Based on the first world I knew, this is what life might be like. You were alive before you had a story. You were learning before you had a self. That is why the first chapter feels blank. The baby was not saving memories for the adult. The baby was building the adult. You did not lose those years. They moved underneath the story. They became part of the map. And later, when you finally learned to say I, you were already standing on it. Before your brain could remember your life, it was learning how to survive it.